Good morning. All right, right back to nail school. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through prep, and then I'm going to be working with some of the other products, right, that we have inside the large mystery box that we got. One of the products that came inside was Core White. So Core White is awesome because you could use it to do ombre, which is absolutely amazing. But I think one of the best features is to be able to use it when you're doing any type of like milk bath style work, right? So for those of you guys who aren't familiar with it, let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's get right into it. So what we're gonna end up doing is let's go ahead and prep the surface of the natural nail. So for those of you guys that got your electric file, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be using 3,000 RPMs, right? So again, very gentle speed. And what I wanna be able to do is gently remove shine from corner to corner, right? Boom. So you could see that I'm using an overgrip. I'm using an overgrip position to be able to hold the handle in this position. Gives me the opportunity to work diagonal, right? Not side to side. Side to side ends up doing this. We don't want to do that. All right, so once we're done doing that, you're going to take swipe. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clean the surface of the natural nail. And then we're going to use protein bond, right, all the way through, right? So what we want to be able to do is use 2 coats. So I'm going to come through 1 coat, and then I'm going to get a 2nd coat all the way through. All right, so when we are doing this type of work, again, I'm working with this Core White. I'm going to work with some Mylar. All right, so for those of you guys, and again, it doesn't matter what kind of embellishments you work with, but what I'm going to do is just get a little bit on to the towel. Let's go ahead and work out an extension. So I'm going to take my form, place it underneath. I'm going to pre-pinch just like this. You can see how it's pinched all the way to the front. I want to be able to open this up like a handle and then use this, right? Again, you can see, try to get this as straight as I can. You can see from the side profile that the form is not tilting down. It's going to be a perfect extension, so the growth channels are going to be absolutely straight. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to build out that first layer, right? So if we're creating this type of a fade, you have to remember that that first layer is really going, right? The first layer is going to be our extension. So I need to make sure that if I'm submersing my brush, right, I need to get again, nice healthy amount on one side. I'm just going to lightly tap that off. If I set this down, then I'm going to use the tip of my brush, right, just to kind of poke up, right, so I'm just going to walk it up to the corner and then just bring the sides in, because I do want it quite wet. And the reason why I want it quite wet is because I'm going to use my brush at this point, right, just to start grabbing pieces of Mylar while the acrylic is in this state and just kind of mush it into the acrylic, right? You can see how I'm actually getting it into this shape, and then basically as it starts to set, I can start using the body of the brush really to kind of move it into really a great shape, even from side to side. If I need to stick a little bit more, I could always take a small amount. You can see, right, I could just kind of grab it, place it, right? It doesn't matter if it's completely sticking up, because at the end, what we want to be able to do is we're going to end up filing everything into shape. You can see I'm just kind of grabbing smaller pieces and I'm adding to the surface. Okay, so what we want to be able to do now is we're going to build back. I like to layer this down as the first coat, because what this does is it adds dimension. So we're going to slightly start working back. I'm going to grab a little bit more, but this time I'm not going to drain anything. I'm literally just going to set that down to the surface and kind of really focus on dragging it over, right? This piece right here, let's just go ahead and kind of push it up to the top, right? And I'm just going to keep grabbing other smaller pieces and really just kind of start layering into the surface. I'll get a little bit more acrylic and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to set it down wet, kind of brush it down over the surface, right? And then use pieces to continuously work all the way through. And again, you can see as we start, right, to build a little bit of thickness, right, the lower parts start to get buried in the milk bath-like look. And then the top portion really starts to bring out, you know, kind of a definite glow to the enhancement. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to layer up. That's what we want to be able to create. So, you know, again, what I like to do is I like to basically, you know, I'm going to get a smaller bead. I'm going to set this to the back end with it wet. I'm going to work it back, brush. You can see as I use the tip of the brush and I get back and I start pulling forward, what I'm trying to do is really finish off, right, the foundation layer, right? So you can see how tight that is all the way around. What I can do is use some wet acrylic into the surface and then just constantly add, right? I'm not going to try to, you know, build some crazy thickness. What I'm trying to do is add just a little bit of dimension, right? So for those of you guys that are not familiar with this technique, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build layers from the bottom all the way to the top. And then once I actually have this established, you have the option to come in and then cap it, right? Because you can see from the side that I don't have enough product. So what I still need to be able to do is I still need to be able to come through the surface and cap it. If you want to use your brush at this point, and I'm going to work with Speed Clear. Let's go ahead and grab that out we had yesterday. Okay, so you guys got that inside your kit as well. I could choose to use Speed Clear again if I don't want to kind of mask anything, and I'm using smaller pieces just to kind of add to the surface, to add the dimension. Okay, like I think like right here and a little bit more. I'm just going to just grab a small amount of Speed Clear. I'm just going to add it right to this point. Grab maybe another piece of Mylar and just kind of stick it right at that point. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to cap it. So I'm going to use Speed Clear. I don't really need a whole lot. I need that amount right there. You can see I could set this to the cuticle area while it's wet. And I'm really kind of letting the product work itself all the way down past the upper arch. And then I'll start to really start brushing it as soon as it gets past that point, and you can see how it kind of fills in over the surface. Boom. And I just lightly start brushing some of that excess down over the tip. I still need a nice healthy amount over this area right here. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit more Speed Clear. For those of you guys who have natural, you could also use natural, but I wanted to show you what you could do with just the existing products inside the mystery box that you bought. So again, you can see that thickness right here. I'm using the body of the brush at this point, really just kind of work over the surface to kind of cap that end. Boom. There we go. So I have enough thickness now. I've capped it. Now what we're going to do is just wait till this dries, and you can see from the side profile, I have great structure all the way through. My growth channels are going to be completely even from the side profile. What we just have to wait for is this to set and it to dry, but you can see how everything is kind of buried in that milk-like look. This look was definitely very popular last year, but for those of you guys, again, who never knew how to do it, what you can do is you can use the Core White to achieve this level of perfection. And again, this comes inside your mystery box, right? So what we have to wait is we have to wait for this set. Now, I always find, like, if you build that bottom layer, one of the things you can do is, you know, for those of you guys that got a magic wand, you can end up using the bladed side, and you can just kind of slip this underneath just to remove the form so that you don't tear. What we're going to do is we're just going to wait, right? There's still a little bit of flexibility, as you can see. I can sit here and move it, but I want to make sure that everything is going to be completely dry before we start filing this into shape. All right, let's go ahead and clean up. So what I will do, let me just go ahead and put all my powders aside. These are the stuff that I've been working with throughout the week. My towel right now, again, I have a little bit of Mylar. I'm not gonna go ahead and save that. I'm just gonna take this. For those of you guys that got brand new brushes, I want you to understand that whatever monomer is left inside here, at the end of your service, what you can do, especially if you have acrylic that's stuck. So this is just, our on to the next acetone. So what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit in here. I don't need a lot, right? Because there's not a lot of monomer inside here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this to kind of rinse my brush. I like the dishes because they can just sit inside, but what I'll do is I'll rinse it, and then I will fold my towel basically over the surface and then use this to kind of pull. And I'll constantly be pulling my brush to a nice point, as you can see. And what we want to be able to do is just try to remove as much of any jammed acrylic inside the brush. And as you can see, everything stays nice and soft, nice and supple. That's what we want to be able to keep. And then with the remaining liquid, again, what I'll do is use my towel, right, to dispose of this. You're not going to save this, right? So what we need to make sure that we do is remove that. You can see there's a little bit of glitter inside there. You could use a clean towel to get inside and just make sure that you remove all the glitter from inside so that it's not transferring from one nail to another while you are working. All right, so this is done, right? This is pretty much set. So same thing. What we want to be able to do is take down the edges of our file, and I like to divide it in half. So for those of you guys that have been involved in any of my shaping class, since I'm working with this shape, I'm going to round this off, right, from corner to center, right? You can see that I have a straight ledge. You can see the ledge that I shape all the way. Same thing on this side. I need to keep contact and then just work it, right? Just a straight ledge all the way down to the front. And I'm trying to keep this as even as I can from side to side, okay? And then so again, if I divide the nail in half, you can see I have an even pull from here and I have an even pull from here. Now from underneath, right, that's pretty straight, but this hangs a little bit lower than my growth channel. So I'm gonna line this up at the lowest point, parallel to the finger. And then what I'm gonna do is keep that contact, and as I file up and into my growth channel, I wanna file up and in. I don't wanna lay it into the corner and file up. That's going to build absolute perfect extension from corner to the very, very tip. And you can see right here how this part of the lower arch hangs lower. So my growth channel is way up here, but you can see how everything hangs down. So what I need to do is I need to line it up parallel to the finger, turn your customer's hand to the side, and then keep that contact. And as we file up, right, what will eventually end up happening is my lower arch will get absolutely perfectly straight, right, with my side. Perfect, boom. So we have that done. So once the sides are absolutely set, what we're going to do is we're going to file the rest of this into shape. All right, so this is all, I mean, every class that I'm doing on nail school, definitely a reminder of what has to take place before you actually get into using your electric file. So I'm going to run my electric file around 12,000 RPMs. Again, I'm using an overgrip position, we want to be able to use an I formation. So first my upper arch, and I stay in one position. So I'm using the zones to file my upper arch, right, which is where you're going to be able to shape your apex. That's done. Now, right, that is going to be, like if I'm looking down the barrel of the nail, you can see the level of thickness that I have here. I'm going to file in one direction towards myself. So that's going to even out. And again, I'm filing from the tip. So you can see that big ridge that's laying around here. One direction, one direction, one direction all the way through. And you can see how nice and even that becomes, right? And then a little bit of mylar showing through, that's fine. And again, what I want to be able to do at this point is I want to be able to work around the cuticle area in one direction all the way around. And then I'm going to follow through the nail, boom. And that's basically what I'm going to do. So you can see the nail at this point, right? This is going to give me the ability to take my hand file, work around the cuticle area. Remember when we laid the white down at the back end, it was quite thin and I capped it with clear. So again, I like to divide it in half, and you can see that with my hand filing technique, I balance my finger on top, I hold it so that when I am working, I can use my wrists, again, coming down this side here, down this side, taking advantage of the whole entire side. You can see the scratch lines on the nail are running diagonal, as you can see. So for the other side, what we want to be able to do, again, contact going up, contact. So I like the feel of contact going up this way and then allowing the hand file to fall down. Contact, 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 right? So what we're trying to do is just smooth this out the best we possibly can. And then what this is going to leave us with is the final stage. Let me go ahead and just lift this up. The final stage for me is always client profile. It's here, right? So what we're going to do, boom. So I need to make sure that my edges, right, looking down this profile are going to be absolutely straight. All right, and last but not least, what I want to be able to do is rest my hand file in between my hands. And then I like to file in this direction just to make sure that everything is going to be even from side to side. All right, so that's pretty much done. Let's go ahead and bring this down so that you guys can see. Let's go ahead and use a little bit of swipe. And that's how we're going to get that look, right? So I'm going to use a little bit of protein bond, again, around the edge and through the body, but you can see how it's buried in core white, right? And that's what we want to be able to achieve, is that level. Just go ahead and try to find my finish gel. Here we go. Let's get tight. Protein bond is going to make sure that you don't have chipping. So I'm going to get a nice healthy amount. I'm going to start here, and then again, I'm going to start working this down from cuticle to free edge, and you can see really what this looks like in core white. It's dope. Sick. It looks like it's buried in a bath of milk. Crazy, huh? It's crazy what you can achieve with that look. I hope you like it. It's all about the technique that's going to determine whether the nails look that good. All right, you guys. So if you have any questions, hit us up. The team is working extremely hard to get everybody's orders out. We are hustling, cranking. It's just absolutely on fire. Appreciate you guys tuning in. For those of you guys, again, that have questions, we have so many platforms we're available to help you guys. And again, tune in to Nail School. I'm up, at least 3 days a week. And if you guys have any direct questions, you could always hit me up. For those of you guys that are interested in any of our online classes, make sure to get a hold of Ray Bracamontes. He is the man, the myth, and the education coordinator. He'll be able to dial you guys in for any of the upcoming classes. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I love you. Peace. Take care.